It's 5 o'clock and we're going to get started with our session for today. We're going to be talking today about sustained and holistic well-being with, like I said, I still have to learn how to pronounce the word Bach Flower Therapy with Indranil.
Okay, so let me bring it. I was also in this confusion for quite some time. And then I did some research and I went to Bach Center and I got to know that BACH in German, as in the Bach, the music composer, he was German. So that was Bach.
Yes.
But this Dr. Edward Bach was an Englishman.
Ah.
So therefore it will become Bach, right?
Ah. So it is Bach Flower Therapy.
It is Bach. So it took me some time to transition from Bach to Bach.
Thank you. Thank you for correcting me because I was also confused about that. So today we're going to learn about what is Bach Flower Therapy. According to Indranil, it's the simplest, safest, and surest therapy for mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Sounds like a lot, seems very, very powerful. It can heal issues like addiction, anger, anxiety, depression, fears, phobias, grief, impatience, lack of self-confidence. It sounds like an all-encompassing, and along with it, a lot of chronic ailments. So today we're going to talk about all that Bach with Bach Flower therapist, psychotherapist.
Yeah, there's a challenge. I don't know why I can't start my video.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, maybe the host was doing something, but I don't want the slide at this point in time.
1 second,
no, I can't.
Let me just see.
I can't.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me just see what's going on. Let me first. Sorry about that. And 1 second. Having a bit of technical difficulty today. Indranil, please try to rejoin.
Okay, will do.
So give us a second and we will get started. All right, he is back. Thank you. So we're going to be talking today about all that Bach is. He's a Bach Flower therapist, psychotherapist, a mindfulness guide, and a transformational coach of repute. He's a much sought after Bach Flower therapist. So we're looking forward to our session today. You have lots of questions. Please start putting them in. So I'm going to start first with this question. You've done so many things. You've been a transformational coach. Why the interest in Bach Flower Therapy?
Yeah, Suki, so I think you preempted my thought about this particular event. Last night when I was rolling this event through my mind, I thought that itself is a testimony of the fact that how fascinating this modality can be. So it was, I think, 2010, and my friend was transiting from Singapore to Pune, and he decided to drop over and stay overnight with us. And in the morning, he brings out this cute-looking bottle, and he says, Indranil, where is your drinking water jug? Let me put a few drops of it. I trust him. He's a very good friend. So I allowed him to add this colorless, tasteless, absolutely senseless few drops of something. In the next few minutes, I saw myself getting transported into a space of peace and serenity. That day, I didn't know that it had triggered off. It had embarked me on a journey that will bring me here when I'm, as Suki said, a much sought after therapist, much written about in the media, internationally acclaimed, all sorts of things. What happened? Let's understand that. So by nature, I'm a person who does not believe in knowledge. I believe in knowing. You understand? If I get to read your biodata, I have a knowledge of you. But when I connect with you, when I go deep inside, when I engage with you, when I relate to you, I know you. So that was my journey. I said I must figure out this mystery remedy. He also called it remedy. I don't remember what did he say, Bach or Batch, but he said something. And I did a little bit of research, and as I said, the literature didn't make any sense, including the literature from Bat Center. I said, let me go and buy some of these. Thankfully, I found them in a nearby pharmacy and I started experimenting. That was the beginning of this journey when I realized that these are absolutely, absolutely profound facilitators. I use the word facilitator very consciously because they don't get involved with us. They come in, they do something, and then they go away. Nobody knows where they go.
I'd like to also ask the audience, how many have heard of Bach Flower Therapy?
Let
How
me
many
let me
have
finish
tried
this
it?
story. Let me
Yeah,
finish this. Let me
yeah.
finish this. People would have tried because batch flour, I'm sorry to say, the way it is being tried, it's very flawed. And that's one of the reasons today batch flour therapy is not so popular. So let me put this across. So that was 2010, 2012. It so happened that two things happened in 2012. By the way, by then I was already a transformational coach. I had put in about 40 years of studies in applied behavioral science. So for me to be able to connect the effect of batch flour remedies with human behavior and the human mind and their interrelationship with different emotions was not so difficult. I got to coach a very senior business leader, and in course of my coaching engagement he complained of some issues regarding anger and things like that, anger, lack of assertion, things like that. So I said, if you don't mind, while I continue to coach you, here is something that I have. Can I make a composite? The mix of batch flour remedies is not a mixture, it's a composite. And you try it and let me know. Suki, that was the moment of truth. In 3 months' time, Mr. X, whatever his name is, he got completely transformed.
Wow. So I want to ask you this because we know of
And
Ayurveda.
then what happened? Then what happened?
Yeah.
In 2016, that's when I was dabbling with it unofficially with, with my friends, my family. 2016, I went into a bout of depression. But as people say, there are things which happen in our life which apparently seem to be negative, but they come with a very positive connotation. That's when I found my mentor and healer. And that's when he healed me. That's one thing. 6 months of journey with Bach Flower Therapy, I was completely healed. But most importantly, I realized I want to take up this because of two reasons. One, it is absolutely safe and minimalistic. I'm a very minimalistic person. I don't believe in long hours of counseling, consultation, coaching, and all that. I am a celebrity coach also. If you go through my profile, you'll know. But why? Why is my ego required to get into your healing and transformational process? If there is such a beautiful thing which is safe, pure, without any side effect, let it do all the stuff while I can just walk along with you. So 2016, I started, therefore, professionally. And then, of course, IPHM, UK happened, and lot many things happened. And yes, your question. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, my question is about homeopathy, Ayurveda. We are very confused. So where does this fall in the spectrum? Because all of these claim to have
Yeah,
very
so
natural.
I have it in my session. I'm going to share with people. I preempted
Perfect.
it.
So a lot of women, and we focus specifically on women. So what are some of the biggest issues? Because you're also a transformational coach and you
Hmm.
also do a lot of these therapies
Yes,
that you
yes.
see women facing.
Yeah, so I must share a truth. I have trained up until now, trained and certified more than 200 therapists in our way of therapy, which is called the client-centric therapy. And 80% of them have been women. That's number one. Number two, I have about 100 plus clients, out of which 30% of them would be regular clients who have been there with me for more than 14 to 16 months. I think just about one or two of them are men. All of them are women. So maybe that's how it was destined for me to not just get to know the issues that surround and uh, make a woman so much more powerful, the Shakti in the woman evolve and come out. But it is also about how does it happen and how it can be healed. That also is something which is a part of the session. As a matter of fact, the session is centered around that. And thank you so much for preempting. I'm going to spend some time on that.
Perfect. But a lot of people, I'm one of the ones that is always skeptical that how do we know if someone is genuine? You're accredited by the IPHM. You've studied the area for many years. Tell us more about this. Because
Yeah,
like you said, everybody has tried it. How do we know?
yeah. So Bach Flower Therapy, I think this is something I will not do it as a part of the session, but I'll respond right away. Uh, I did a research on Google and I found that I don't know whether you're aware that according to WHO by 2020, which is gone, and that was before the pandemic, 1 out of 5 people in India would be suffering from mental health issues. My experience says that it is 3 out of 5. But do you know the number of Bach Flower therapists in India, according to research and statistics, is not more than 400 to 500 only. And that too, more of them are somehow, like stumbled to become and appoint themselves as Bach Flower therapists. So, a quick understanding of the genuine versus non-genuine. Today, when I do therapy with my people, a couple of things that I have ensured, and not only me, but my students also. Number one is there is a way by which we do the consultation. They follow the consultation. It is not happy talk. That's number one. Number two, the prescription that I don't give a secret recipe. You understand what I'm saying? Everything is known to the client. I empower the client. I tell the client very often, like, let's say you come to me and I write the prescription, and I may not tell you the name of the remedies, but I say, Suki, I've given you something because you look so beautiful. I've given you something because you smile so beautifully. I've given you something because you bring out the best out of people. So I'm saying all the positives. But similarly, I can say something about the negatives also. And the last thing is, I accompany the patient. So that's where the 14 months, 16 months, 20 months come. My commitment is not to bring in a mood change. My commitment is to heal the patient. My commitment is not administering remedies. I have nothing to do with remedies. My commitment is to the patient that, hey, you, Mr. Patient, or you, Mrs. Patient, you have come to me. If I have taken up your case, which means I am going to go along with you as an instrument of divinity till the point I realize you can heal yourself. And Bach Flower, may Bach Flower be your companion.
So in COVID times, and of course, we're still struggling, can Bach Flower help?
Okay, so in brief, I will just share, but there is a slide. To be able to understand Bach Flower, we need to understand the energetic truth of our presence. Can I show the slide? I think.
Yes, please do. I'm going to turn it over to you. And we're already getting a lot of questions. So please keep putting them. Amita, I'll get to it.
I think I will put up the slide straight away.
Perfect.
Where are you, Mr. Zoom? There I go. There I go. Thank you, Suki. Thank you once again. I didn't thank you formally, but you know how thankful I am for you being in my life. So a quick slide on this before I go to, that's why it is called Bach Flower Therapy, because of Edward Bach, but there is no reason you can call it flower therapy also, because what we practice today is evolved a lot from what Dr. Edward Bach had propounded and suggested those days. And like any other science, everything evolves, and this is evolving very fast. So there are 38 remedies, and for those who are non-initiated, you can buy them off the shelf, a kit of 40 remedies, 38 remedies, and 2 bottles of what is called as rescue remedy. Maybe I'll talk a little on that later on, but let's understand what are these 38 remedies. These 38 remedies are essences of 38 flowers, or rather 37 of them are extracts of flower which contain the energetic imprint of the flower, and they have alcohol to preserve that. It's a very, very detailed, elaborate, and tedious process by which it is done under very controlled environmental situations, which can be done most probably in UK only. I've heard that people in India are trying to do that artificially, but what we get in India is a dilution of the original remedies that are manufactured in UK. And one remedy, I said 37. There is a 38th remedy, you won't believe. It is just natural spring water from the mountains of England. So these are the 38 remedies which are purely vibrational, no chemical, no biochemical component, and therefore they're absolutely safe, non-addictive, without any side effects. What is most important to know that these remedies can be combined to give us close to 4 million composites, which shows the depth of the ocean. So today, I think I have just dipped into it. I don't know where all it is going to take me, but all I can say, up until now, there is not a single health issue, mental, emotional, or physical, which it has not been able to address. And now coming to Suki's question. We all like to quote Einstein. We all like to believe in Einstein. We feel that he was a great guru. But how many of us right now sitting there are considering ourselves to be a vibrational and energetic entity? Let's have a very truthful raise of hands. In the here and now, is it just your physical body, or you're seeing yourself extended beyond your physical body? Let's be truthful about it.
Explain some more. What do you mean by this?
That we are all a bundle of energy, very clear. The dense physical body is nothing but the energy that is vibrating at a lower frequency. Those who have studied physics will know that when energy is vibrating at a lower frequency, it tends to give us an impression of solidity. When it is at a higher frequency, our senses cannot perceive that energy. And when it goes to a very rare level, it just becomes ether, space. That's it. And this is no less but Albert Einstein. Yes, my dears, Bach Flower Therapy is based on quantum science. It's a confluence of behavioral science and quantum science. So before I show you the next part of the slide, Suki, here it is. What is coronavirus? SARS-2, whatever they call it. It's an energy, right? It's another energy which is trying to find a space within us. We are a bundle of energy, and the virus is also an energy. So simple common sense says that if our energetic levels are high enough, and the coronavirus, I am told, I did some research when it came into being, the vibrational frequency of coronavirus is only 20 to 30 hertz. Whereas what you will see over here is the human capability of its vibrational presence. At the lowest, it is only 20 hertz, if you can see the left-hand side of diagram. And at the highest, when you have attained enlightenment, it is 700 hertz. So if you are in the space of guilt, shame, anger, grief, and all of those low frequency vibration, if you are going through very tough time, and like somebody in the chat I hear, maybe I'll take the question right away. Yeah, Amita, it's only Amita only. The first question also was from Amita, I think. Yes. Amita, I'll just take the question immediately after this. What's the point of showing my slide if I can't show you or help you with something? Now, Bach flower, very simply. Now, look at this on the right-hand side. The diagram shows frequency of anger. I am vibrating at that point in time at 150 hertz. The remedy for anger, which is holly, the vibration is 479.48 hertz, which means it douses, it completely dissolves the negative energy of anger and removes that block.
So if I look at this chart that you're showing here, so if
Yes,
somebody suffers from anger, the remedy would be to take holly. If somebody is suffering from a lot of fear, it would be mimulus. If it's grief, then sweet chestnut. Is that how I read the chart that's in front of us?
Yes, that's a very simplistic approach. However, human emotions come in a mesh, an intricate mesh. For example, holly, anger. There is a reason for you to be angry, right? We all get angry, but there must be a trigger. Just giving holly may temporarily, and that's what many people are doing. That's the difference between the original and the fake. If I am not adding a remedy to heal the trigger, then it will keep coming back. And you will ask me, Indrani, my anger has not been healed. I have been given a respite. And many people in the West actually do that. They use Bach flower for mood alteration, for temporary alleviation of certain emotional states. That's not the way it is supposed. That's not therapy. That's using the remedies more amateurishly. Like you can go and buy, for example, an aspirin from the medical shop to cure a headache. But definitely, if you have blood sugar, you won't buy a metformin off the shelf, right? You'll go to the doctor and exactly find out what is happening. Is it because of your insulin resistance, or is it because your beta cells are not producing to the extent they should produce? And you will follow a doctor's prescription. So to answer you, Suki, yes, on the one hand, simplistically saying yes, but if somebody has anger issues, that needs to be delved into and accordingly prescription made and followed through. I'll come to that part also where I'll share how therapy happens. So this is the long and short of it. Now, coming to coronavirus, very simple. If the guilt, the shame, particularly this is dangerous. There is one more thing, intolerance. The more I'm intolerant, my lower is my frequency. If these can be dissolved with the help of Bach Flower Therapy, along with that, if my exhaustion, when I'm exhausted, my energy levels are very low. If my exhaustion can be taken care of, I will be much more immune to coronavirus. Let me share with you, in the 2 years' time, touch wood, not a single member of our family has been infected by the virus. I have created a spray for myself and our family. And we used to spray on ourselves as well as in our space because it is vibrational, right? We might be ingesting the remedy, but ultimately it's the vibration that is working. So there is nothing material about it. And the spray has worked, besides, of course, the good wishes and the blessings of the Almighty.
I want to ask a question, and of course we'll take, but intolerance, isn't that more of a mental issue? How can a frequency change whether you're a tolerant or an intolerant person?
Awesome, awesome. Intolerance definitely is an emotional, a mental issue, but it can show up as a physical issue. There is a saying that I often repeat, a maxim that I use: body mimics the mind. So if I'm intolerant by nature, if I'm critical, hypercritical by nature, if I am trying to find fault in everything, if I'm pedantic in my approach to life, I'll be doing that with my food. That's number one. So I'll have n number of food allergies. Number two, whenever there is a change in the weather or a change in the energy around me, I will not be tolerant about it. And I'll immediately start reacting physically, mentally, emotionally. That's intolerance. Number three, I can be intolerant and allergic about people. I know of my patients, and it's been difficult, not easy to diagnose, that in certain situations they develop rash on their body. Apparently, there is nothing in terms of the food that they are taking or the environment that is there, but it's the people that they're allergic with. So that's intolerance.
Okay, I'll let you move on.
Yeah. Any questions?
Amita's
So,
question, I'm going through
Amita,
bad times since I
yeah,
fell sick.
Amita, quickly, let me hear. Uh, Let me see, where is the question? And may I request all of you, I love engaging with people. Interaction is not good enough. I would love to see you in the video. I would love to hear your voice. So please feel free in any of my sessions. I like people to bring in their voice and their visual. So Amita, I'm going through bad times since I fell sick. How does holistic approach help me in the situation? Okay, so before I go to the holistic approach, uh, can I ask you
I'm just going to
what?
ask her if she can unmute so you can.
Yeah. So what is really happening with you? What's happening at the physical, emotional, mental level with you?
We'll come back to her, but go ahead and
Yeah. So Amita, I'm here, and Anjali wants to ask something.
Yeah, we'll take that. I'm just
We'll
asking
take that.
Anjali to
Okay.
write her
Fair
question
enough.
so that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does Bach Flower Therapy work? And Suki, you had asked right at the beginning, how does it compare? I'm going to briefly talk about it at this point in time, but there's a detailed discussion at the end. Now, I don't know how many of you know that 5,000 years back, the Saint Patanjali had propounded that there are 5 levels of consciousness in which we exist. Einstein talked about the energetic truth of our presence, the vibrational truth of our presence. Patanjali went a level forward, which was further proved by quantum science that there are five bodies of consciousness that we exist in. The physical body being the lowest and the densest, above which is the vital body, which is also called the pranamaya kosha. Manomaya kosha is the physical body. Sorry, annamaya kosha is the physical body. The vital body is pranamaya kosha. Very simply, it is the breath or the vital energy in our body. Mental body is our thoughts and emotions. Manomaya kosha. Supramental body is the deep-seated stuff in our unconscious, which is also called the wisdom body of consciousness, or the Vijnanmaya kosha. And the final is the bliss body, also called the Anandmaya kosha, where the vibration is at its highest. So from the lowest to the highest, physical, vital, mental, supramental, bliss. Now, most other therapies address at the physical, vital, and the mental level. Because if you notice, they are also gross. They are not as subtle as the vibration of the Bach flower remedies. But Bach flower remedy, and maybe there are a few other remedies which are also there, or therapies which are also there. But Bach flower remedies works at the supramental body. What does it mean? What it means, and this is what many therapists, again addressing Suki's question, between the ones who are and the who are not, many therapists don't understand the role that our limiting beliefs, our blocks, our conditioning has to play. Dr. Edward Bach said it very clearly that the remedies are meant to connect us with our higher presence with the higher truth. What is that? That's the bliss body, which means it is meant to remove all the blocks that are there in between, including the supramental body. Now, the beauty is that if I can heal, if I can restore the health in the supramental body, my mental body also gets healed. It's a trickle down effect. The mental body is a subordinate to the supramental, just like the vital is a subordinate to the mental, and the physical body is a subordinate to the vital. So, for example, I'll give you an example. I talked about shame. By the way, let me tell you guys, shame and guilt are two very, very key components for a lot of physical things that are happening with you. Now, if that is healed, your behavior, your emotions, your thoughts, you will not be so apologetic, for example. You will not be so cringing about things. You'll not be hiding. You will not be going with a face which is like, this is a face which I don't want to show to anybody. That's the kind of behavior. When I'm suffering from shame, your behavior will change. The energy, the pranic energy inside you will flow without much block. But what will happen at the physical body? Because why I'm saying we are obsessed with our physical body. We believe that is where we exist. Wrong. You need to start focusing on your supramental body. You need to look at what are those blocks, what are those beliefs that you're carrying. If you heal them, let me tell you, like magic, your obesity will get healed. Your PCOS will get healed. Uh, Diabetes, if you are suffering from, will get healed. Of course, it's not so simple, but definitely IBS, one of the main culprits or the main resultants of nursing shame and guilt for a long period of time. So, my friends.
So, Daniel, when you talk about guilt, because a lot of us do feel guilt, what are we talking about in terms of the severity level? Because when we talk about women, we feel guilty about everything.
Anything that persists becomes an illness. So, what do we do, Suki? Okay, the modern world has taught us a beautiful phrase, I'm fine. How many of you relate to this? I ask you, how are you doing? I'm fine. Are you really doing fine? Are you? No, you're not. Every time you say, I'm fine, and you're not really doing fine, you're putting one hydraulic press on your emotions and suppressing them. What gets suppressed at the emotional level manifests at the physical level. Very simple. There's nothing wrong with being guilty, sinful, angry, atrocious, sad, aggressive, mad, whatever. Just let it come out. Acknowledge that you are a human being and you have the right to feel that way. It won't hurt you. But then, if you have to put up a nice face and with a, that little nanosecond smile on your face, telling people, and at the same time telling them that don't go by my smile, I'm not so smiley today. If you are habituated with that, and habits can also be healed by Bach Flower Therapy, then let me tell you, you are more prone to precipitate your emotional state into diseases which might take long time to heal. That brings me to chronic diseases, by the way, but we'll talk of that a little later. Before that, let me address what Suki had asked me to address. I'll come to this later. How does the therapy happen? Sustained and holistic well-being. Now, before I get into answering this question, how can sustained and holistic well-being help me? What does it mean to you? Can I ask some of you? I have some questions. Where am I? Yes, Anjali, you're right. Psychiatry and psychology are things of yesterday. There are a lot of people who come with bipolar, a lot of people who come to me with anxiety, general anxiety disorder, clinical depression. after having not healed themselves, and on top of that, having got addicted to psychiatric medicines. So, whatever you want to call it, I'm healing them. It's taking time. It takes sometimes 2 to 3 years, but it cannot, because medicine, the very word medicine, is healing the symptom, not the cause. Okay? So let's be very clear. We have to be simple, and we have to look at the signs, the real signs behind illness, the signs of illness. Not,
Indranil, I would love for Anjali to ask her question because I think it's very interesting what she's asked.
yeah.
Anjali, go ahead.
How do I put on the...
We can hear you, Anjali.
Yes, Anjali,
Okay.
loud and clear.
Okay, so yes, I'm going to repeat exactly what I said in the writing, which is, to me, this is an unbelievable thing that this Bach flower remedy can wipe out hundreds of, at least 150 years of psychology and psychiatric treatment. It's a completely different thing. And what you are saying is antithetical to those sciences. Is this a science?
It's a science which is a confluence of applied behavioral science and quantum science, much, much beyond the age-old science of psychology and psychiatry. And this is still evolving, Anjali. So I don't know where we are going with it. So if we are open to embrace things which are evolving, all that is static will fall by. And let me tell you, I can see the early signs of that. Are you a psychologist?
Not at all. Just read a lot about the stuff because it
Stop
interests me.
reading and start reading my. I'll share with you about 25 articles that have been published in the media. Start, your entire paradigm of mental and emotional wellness will be redefined, because Dr. Bach made one thing very clear, that we have got nothing to do with illness. We are all about wellness. The default state of mankind is well-being, not illness. Illness, according to him, was a blessing in disguise that can set you forth on search of your higher self. And I say, which can set you forth on a transformational journey. So the entire paradigm is different. The approach is different. Everything is different. Yeah, I'm going to start my video. I was pouring some water, so I didn't want people to see my dirty bottle. So,
Dr.
why I ask this question is, I invite any one of you from the audience to come to me, or any of your close ones or your relatives with a mental health issue. And I am not saying that I can heal. I'm just an instrument of the healing modality. But I will accompany this person to a place where the person will heal himself. Most importantly, will get out of the addiction of chemical drugs. There is this patient of mine. I feel sad about him. I have a lot of patients from Pakistan. And this guy is schizoid, and he was doing so well. And then one day, he just left his psychiatric medicine. And it kind of had a withdrawal effect on him. And he was bashed up by his psychiatrist and his parents, and he had to go back on that. Bach Flower Therapy, by the way, I just let you know, it is so profound. It is beyond our comprehension of the logical mind, that there is another person I know who has been in deep depression for a very long time. He's now the president of a conglomerate. And there was a time when he came to me and said, something very interesting has happened 6 months down the line of the therapy, that I forget to take my antidepressant medicine. I said, that's what Bach Flower does. It seems to be very innocent, very pure, very simple. But the power and potency, once you have started making Bach Flower your way of life, I'm telling you, your questions also will become very different.
Dhanshri is commenting and asking, excess of any emotion which fails you, makes you sick, morbid, you have to heal it.
Yes, absolutely. Uh, Hi, Hugan. Wonderful to see a familiar face. Love to have you here. So,
Hi there,
excess.
Indranil. Great to hear you.
Great to hear you too. Excess, I'll give you an example. That was Anjali asking, right? Excess of confidence, right? Anjali, let's take this as an example. There's a remedy called Larch for people who are low on confidence. But there are people who come with excess of confidence. And along with that, they may have excess of greed. Okay? What will happen? Just tell me. Can you come on the mic? Can you unmute your mic and tell me? It's a fantastic question. I love this question. Where is the question gone?
Anjali is unmuted. Go ahead, Anjali.
Yeah, Anjali. So, what will happen? Excess of confidence, excess of greed, or excess of depression or suicidal thoughts. What will happen?
It wasn't me who asked the question, it's someone else.
Okay, whoever it is. So, for example, excess of anger and excess of violence and aggression and excess of confidence will make a person go out and kill somebody. Excess of depression and suicidal thoughts and excess of confidence can make the person commit suicide. So there is a particular remedy called cherry plum. Take a note of it. Cherry plum is a beautiful remedy when the mind goes out of control. Normally, the mind can take care of excesses. Don't be so happy. This happiness might lead you to feeling very tired and drained out by the end of the day. Don't be so, okay, let me use some other emotions. Don't be so loving. People might take advantage of you. Cherry plum will take care of that. So you're absolutely right in asking that we therapists, we look at the excesses of even positive emotions through our uh, proprietary 4-layered structured consultation. And when we find that, we administer remedies which can deal with the excess. Have I answered that question?
Yes, you have.
Now I want to ask the audience, what does sustained and holistic well-being mean? That is the title of it, before I get into sharing the slide with you all. There are two words, sustained and holistic. And there's a world of meaning out here. Yes. Can you unmute and speak rather than
Unless people raise their hands, we don't, because if they raise their hands, we'll ask them to unmute.
Okay, somebody has given a chat. What is
I
it?
have.
Long-term well-being, Sukirti. Yes, long-term. Long-term well-being can only happen if I'm healed. Otherwise, I'll keep going back and forth. Anjali has raised her hand. Yes, Anjali, unmute and please speak.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Anjali.
I would say that sustained well-being would be complete mental and physical ease, enough to give you a really good sleep at night without getting up, without feeling any guilt or worry or trepidation, looking forward to the day, and being completely in tune mentally and physically and emotionally on an even keel. This is the most holistic thing I can think of.
10 out of 10. Now, I am going to share with you how that can happen. See, normally, what people do, they go to the gym and they work out and release some endorphin in the blood and say, yay, I'm feeling stimulated. I'm feeling happy. I'm joyful. But that's all very temporary. That's not well-being. That is physical wellness. It feels like well-being, but it's not well-being. People hours together will sit in yoga and believe that they have relieved themselves of all the worries of the world, till it comes back and hits them that they have frozen themselves in the framework of yoga. People will go on stringent diet and one day come to people like us and say that we have become low or hypertensive for that matter, or some other physical ailments. Now, that is not holistic well-being. Holistic well-being is mind, body, soul, like it's very well known, or like what Anjali said, mental, emotional, and physical. Now, I don't know, I am a person who is not very literate, but I have not still come across another therapy, another modality which can help us to be completely healed and therefore live a life where I am relatively disease free and holistically in a state of well being, which is mind, body, soul, emotions, everything is in a state of well being. Now, to understand that, let's understand from a Bach flower therapy perspective, there are three layers that we address. Right at the top, which we can see is the behavior, the thoughts, and the feelings. And right below, which often does not, is the that part of that iceberg which is below the water level, is our limiting beliefs. Left unhealed, they are going to emit vibrations all around, right? We are vibrational entities, guys. Please understand. Leading to what? Financial issues, job dissatisfaction issues, chronic and lifestyle diseases, distracted children. Yes, you are responsible for your distracted children. Many a time when I heal teenagers, I start with the mother first. Your relationship, especially with your spouse. Let me share with you, if you are a pushover and your spouse is very dominating, your spouse became dominating because you were a pushover. The day your pushover energy is healed, that low energy of being a pushover, of being a people pleaser or a placater, the aggression in your spouse will go away. The dominance in your spouse will go away. I promise you that. I have done that. And there are articles which are published on that. And of course, all mental health issues like anxiety, depression, anger, exhaustion, chronic fatigue, uh, low self-esteem, low self-worth. I go and look at my mirror and I don't find myself looking good. Let me tell you, quick totka for all of you. Whatever face cream or moisturizer or toner you're applying, add a few drops of crab apple and see yourself after 2 months.
Crab apple, huh?
Crab apple,
Awesome.
yes. And
So that's going to make us feel.
those who are above 40, add crab apple and honeysuckle. And just let me know and send me your before after pic also.
And tell us this, how long does it take? I think somebody has also asked that question to take effect. Because right now you said, tell us after 2 months.
Yeah. I'll straight away come to this. These questions are coming from your mindsets, my dear. Fixation with fixing things, because we have all grown up in the mindset of medicines. I have this, I fix it. There is no fix in Bach Flower Therapy. Take it anywhere, minimum 3 months, best 6 months, could be anywhere between 1 year to 2 years, depending upon the nature of the illness, the intensity and the acuteness of the illness. So look at the myths and mindsets. I don't need to read it for you, but the biggest myth is the medicine mindset. Number one, I believe that I will take it when I'm ill. No, you will not take it when you are ill. You are going to take it when you are well so that you don't fall ill. Number two, I stop taking it when I get well. I mean, do you stop taking water? Do you stop breathing air? Bach flower remedies are like that. Make it a way of life, my dears. I'm promising you, you will never fall ill, or even if it is something very passing, very, very passing. So you need to take note of this, that this is what is blocking your adoption of Bach Flower Therapy as the preferred remedy for sustained and holistic well-being. Questions? I have 10 more minutes.
Does anybody have some questions that they would like to ask? Please do raise your hand. Otherwise, we can ask about some common problems and what would be.
Yeah, otherwise I will show something which is definitely a common problem. Yeah, this is about diabetes How many of you have diabetes, obesity, hypertension, PCOS, IBS, include asthma, things like that, all chronic diseases? Let me see. I don't see any raise of hands. Wow, I'm with a healthy crowd. Awesome. God forbid, if you have it, let me tell you, the first thing is your medicines are managing the disease. They are not curing or healing them. Don't get onto that path, but at the same time asking you not to stop it. You need to heal these 4 layers, which are shown over here. While the last 3 layers, I definitely recommend diet. Diet is a very good medicine. Yoga, Ayurveda, I definitely recommend. But for your limiting blocks and conditionings, which is the supramental body and your mental body, your negative feelings, thoughts, and habits, you need to have Bach Flower. Let me tell you, we have a program called Relive, and it started last September. We have about 10 clients, and all of them are on the path of complete healing. All of them are now off medications. They don't take any medication, but they still have their parameters, the matrices, the markers to be got back into control. And it will happen in another 3 to 4 months, or maybe 6 months maximum. So that's one thing. And to be able to understand this for logical minds, here is a table.
And are there then solutions to these, like cholesterol? What would you take?
Yeah. So here is, look at the table. Very simple. No, you can't have off-the-shelf remedies. Every individual is unique. So this is where I need to show you this. When we do a therapy, there are 4 stages. Consultation, where we find out the uniqueness of the person and what is actually healing the person. But more importantly is a diagnosis, where we find out the thoughts, feelings, behaviors, unconscious blocks in the personality. And that's where the uniqueness comes. So there is no one-size-fits-all approach, whether it's cholesterol or hypertension or obesity. But broadly, yes, cholesterol is happening when your channels of joy is blocked. Obesity is happening when there's tremendous fear and anxiety. You want to put a coat, a safety coat on top of it, and you end up putting an adipose coat, the coat of fat tissues. PCOS is happening because of depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, and lack of self-worth. So then we write prescription based on interrelationship of remedies. Not many people know that the 38 remedies are interrelated. So we have to be very careful what to give first and what to give later. And then they should address certain issues. And then we give them in combination. For example, there might be 2 composites you are taking through the day, and a 3rd composite you start taking in the evening, 7 o'clock onwards. There may be a 4th composite that you take as a part of your drinking water. Let me share with you. I don't know whether you can see it. Here is my water bottle. It looks dirty. Don't please mind if it looks dirty. But this water bottle is infused with Bach Flower remedy, because I have adopted this mantra, Bach Flower, as a way of life. Every day in the morning, this is filled up, and a few drops of the remedies that I need for the day is given in it. And through the day, I am the way I am. You can see me. I don't have to tell you. We are client-centric therapists. We are not remedy-centric. We don't give you what we have, which is remedies. We give you what the client needs, what you need. Having said that, how many of you have pets at home? How many?
Not me.
Come, my dear. Here is one of my patients. Can you bring him here, please? Can you bring him here? Come, Leon. Leon is our rescue dog, adopted about a year back in July last year. He came here with acute aggression. I mean, today, if Leon is standing, come here, beta. Show your face. Come. He understands that I have an agenda. Anyway, So I'll just talk of him maybe when the time comes. No, he will not let himself be seen. He also had some kind of a palsy, which is common in dogs. It's less than a year he has been on Bach Flower Therapy, and we just spray it on him. Let me tell you, he is the cuddliest dog I've ever known. Earlier, he would not. Yeah, there is Leon. Ha, beta, come. If you all can see, this is Leon. Leon, show your face, beta. Yay. There you go. I couldn't have held him like this earlier. He would have aggressed. He would have bitten me. But today, he is really our pet. And I'm so thankful to Bach Flower Therapy and Bach Flower Remedy for this. Had it not been for that, no psychologist, vet, or psychiatrist could have healed him in as short a time as maybe 8 to 9 months.
Ajay is asking. Ajay, go ahead. I've asked you to unmute.
Yeah, Ajay, please. It's all yours.
My question is about the acid reflux. I have been having this for many years now.
What are the emotions that you are going through, and especially when you have the reflux? You must be a very angry person, and you are
No, I'm
suppressing
not.
your anger and irritation at things which are happening around you, but you can't do much about it. Tell me yes or no.
I would say no, but I do have a multitasking habit. So at any point of time, I'm thinking of
And you
something.
get irritated when something comes your way and does not allow you to multitask.
Correct. That's right.
So why are you saying no? Say yes. I'm doing your consultation, boss, and I'm not charging you for that. Yeah. So impatience is your first remedy. Holly, willow, beech, crabapple, and star of Bethlehem. Impatience, holly, willow, beech, crabapple, and star of Bethlehem. Impatience, holly, willow, beech, crabapple, and star of Bethlehem. Take a 500 ml water bottle, add 7 drops of each every morning, and keep sipping it through the day. Your acid reflux will go away. Add olive if you are also feeling exhausted.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Questions? I am giving prescriptions now, all free for you. Any recommendation? Vandana, this obesity is killing me. I am not obese. I have lost 10 kgs in last 10 months. My wife, she was obese and she has lost 25 kgs. No straight cut formula, but your fear and anxiety first needs to be taken care of. Along with that, your lack of self-worth needs to be taken care of. I would invite you to come for a diagnosis. I'll help you with obesity, I promise you, along with some dietary recommendations. Yeah, I would request, I'm not able to keep tab of the chat messages.
Geet is
Please,
asking
Martin,
a question. Go ahead. I'm keeping track of it. It's okay.
Yeah,
Geet,
please,
go ahead.
Martin. I love listening to your voice.
Geet, go ahead. Geet is saying I'm very sensitive, emotional,
Neerja
and tears
Pandit.
come when I feel hurt.
Oh,
We're
sorry,
taking
come again.
Geet's question first.
Okay.
Yeah, Geet is saying I'm very sensitive, emotional, and tears come when I feel hurt.
Ah, okay. So, can I ask you, Geet? I have to get Geet on the mic. Why does it? There is a big thing about therapy. Why we need to know? Because there are many different depression, like somebody asked. There are 5 different types of depression. I need to ask why. Unmute me, Sukriti. Somebody saying.
I'm trying to unmute Amita. I don't know. It's not
Okay,
working.
Geet, tell me, why do you feel like that? My dear Geet. See, I can only think of only 2 possibilities. Either it is mimulus because you are very sensitive, or it is chicory because you are a person who likes to be loved, who likes to be honored, who likes to be valued, who likes to be appreciated. So if one of the 2, then you take chicory and mimulus, but that will not heal you. That will help you to, allay the situation. But I would request that I will leave my contact details. And my promise to all of you, 1 consult to all of you is free of cost.
So how to contact you, sir?
Okay.
Neerja is asking, what about depression?
Depression, as I said, there are 5 types of depression. If it is about you, can you just describe it quickly? I don't want to leave you without anything. I want to give you something.
Yes.
Yeah. What happens is, like, I mean, as somebody just said, when I go, I mean, you can make it, I feel very low. And nowadays, I start crying at a short, I mean, just like that. And I start mumbling something which had happened to me 2 years back. Not almost 2 years back, when I had a total memory loss due to the job loss, and I had due to deep depression, I had gone into, I mean, my childhood. And when I recovered from that, depression had been not a new thing for me, but then yes, it was after this. It is very, very often that if somebody tells me anything.
Okay, my dear, I got it, my dear. I'm so sorry. Just write it down. Honeysuckle.
Okay. Honeysuckle. Okay.
Mustard.
Mustard.
Not the sarso that you have in the kitchen. Mustard flowers.
Okay. Honeysuckle and mustard flowers. Okay.
Mustard, not flower. The mustard. These are all remedies you will get off the shelf from any homeopathic pharmacy or any good pharmacy, not allopathic. And one more, sweet chestnut.
Sweet chestnut. Okay.
And rescue remedy.
Rescue remedy. Okay.
Yeah. So you need to take 5 drops of each of honeysuckle, mustard, and sweet chestnut, and 10 drops of rescue remedy in half a cup of water, and take this dose 3 times a day.
No.
Okay. Mustard is mustard flowers.
My dear, the remedy is called mustard. The remedies are called by the flower names only.
Okay.
Okay. You will get well. You will absolutely get well. If you have a problem, I will share at the end, before I go, my contact details. Feel free to contact. As I said, one consultation for all of you is free.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Anyone else that would like to ask? I'd love to unmute them.
Okay. If nobody is asking, there is a common problem, sleep problem. I'm sure all of you have.
Anjali is asking. Go ahead.
Yes, Anjali. Yeah, Anjali.
Just trying to understand what you're saying. If these extracts are working holistically on us, whether we wish them to or not, that is without our will even, we don't know that we are going to get healed in the same way that you take penicillin. You don't know how it's going to work. You get healed, right? Is it so very different from taking a drug then? I mean, if you take cocaine, it's going to give you a high. Is this so very different from taking any destructive drug?
I can't answer that question. I think you need to take Gentian before I answer any of your questions, because they are absolutely different. One is altering your consciousness, that is your drug. This is expanding your consciousness, all I can say. Okay. Maybe you have not been in an expanded state of consciousness. That's why you're asking this question. And I'm prescribing Gentian as a remedy that you need to take to be able to have faith in other ways of doing things, Gentian and maybe gorse and walnut. And you will suddenly find that you can embrace such things more readily. Yeah, because people who come with a very strong logical bent of mind ask such questions. And today I've become very, very apathetic about such things. As a matter of fact, more empathetic, because everyone has something which is bothering them, because of which they are behaving in a certain way. And I'm here because of that only, to help them come out of that block and be more open to embracing life as it is.
Any other questions? We could take one more before we end. But you were going to give us a remedy for sleep.
Yeah, sleep. So my recommendation.
Niyati is asking my favorite question: how to get good hair.
How to get good hair. Okay, awesome. So that's another thing which is again dependent on what are the emotions related to loss of hair, if there is loss of hair. But generally, crab apple is good for anything related to skin, including hair. So add crab apple, and see, overthinking often leads to loss of hair. And you need to look at your nature. Are you a person who is a control freak, and kind of you're sweating your head, you're breaking your head, it's literally breaking your head in terms of taking charge of things? Then bring in impatience. So impatience, crabapple, and white chestnut, add it to a good herbal oil and massage it well before you go to sleep in the night, and slowly you'll find that your skin health of the head and your hair is growing fine, and maybe you're losing less.
And sleep problems, and then we have Vandana,
The
and then we
sleep
have
problem,
Hugin.
the one remedy for sleep, please write down white chestnut. Now, if you are not having sleep because you are very restless in the night, add white impatience and rescue remedy. White chestnut and rescue remedy is the generic composite for sleep. But if it is because of restlessness, add impatience. If it is because of too much of responsibility and you feeling burdened and thinking of this is all that I have to do tomorrow, okay, no problem. This is what all I have to do tomorrow. You can have a question also. Then oak, white chestnut, rescue remedy, and oak. If you are a very imaginative kind and doing all sorts of planning and ideating in the night, which I was doing yesterday, vervain, white chestnut, and rescue remedy. If you are a person who goes into the past and languishes in the memories of the past and cannot sleep, then honeysuckle, white chestnut. And yes, I do teach, Rajshri. Get in touch with me. You got my number. I'll guide you to the right way to learn Bach Flower Therapy. If you are, nightmares. People get up from nightmares. Two kinds of nightmares. One is I wake up from the nightmare and I cannot go back to sleep. Add aspen, ASPEN. One kind of nightmare where it is shocking, terrifying, and I'm like falling from the cliff and all sorts of things. Rock rose, add rock rose, and you'll go back to sleep again and have sleep like a baby. So this is my free gift to all of you. Sleep well, be well, and sustained and holistic well-being. Let that be yours. Yes, Hugin, Vandana, your question.
Yes, sir. So my question was that, for example, I have high BP and I have asthmatic to pollution. Like I get a lot of cough and it goes for a month. It's a long, lengthy one. And I'm also obese. So there is only one solution to all these three problems.
No, you need a consultation. And they are two different things. High BP is a different thing. Hugin will talk about it, I'm sure, how his BP was brought into control. Please unmute me, Hugin is saying.
Hugin, oh, sorry. I'm
Hugin
muting
was treated for some time for high BP, and I think his BP was taken into control. But asthma has to do with fear. Asthma has to do with a feeling of abandonment and a lot of things. So I need to look into it deep. But as I briefly said, generally, a sense of abandonment and fear, these are the two areas which needs to be dealt with for you to be completely healed of these two places. Yes, you get.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So everyone, first of all, I have no questions.
Okay.
Because I have undergone consultations and treatment with Indranil. And I'm very thankful, very, very, very blessed that there's someone like Indranil who asks very detailed questions and is open to the spiritual side also. Because when he was talking of holistic well-being, there is a spiritual element and physical element. Okay, so both are existing in consciousness, and basically he has allowed me to expand my consciousness to see both as one. So I'm very thankful to Indranil and to Pooja. I know it's not easy to organize everything, especially for this event. And all I have is gratitude. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Yogi. So, sir, please put back the slide. A lot of people are asking for your contact
I,
information.
I have put it up in the chat.
Perfect. And where
Yeah.
to buy crab apple? I think
Yeah,
you've said it
so
many times.
you
It's
you
available
can
at
you can
any.
yeah, just a minute. I'll again put it up in the chat. Chat is so useful, no, Suki?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can buy all of these Bach flower therapies at any of the.
Uh, good homeopathic pharmacies. You
Anything
will
that we should be looking for when we are buying them from the
yeah,
homeopathic.
you can. I'll suggest something here. Now you see this is a URL of the website, our website, all that batch. There is a page called remedies. You can go there and buy a full kit. It doesn't cost much. I don't think you will mind spending around 3K. It's 40 remedies. It's a full kit of 40 remedies, which will last you well beyond 6 months, and you are completely fortified, and all you have to do is just give me a call. Hey, Indranil, this is happening, and I said mix this with that and have it so many times, and you will be fine. So I would suggest, instead of buying individual remedies, buy a kit of 40 remedies. The brands that I'm recommending is Handyman, uh, uh, then you have Bhandari, and there is New Life. These are the three brands that I have used. These are Indian brands. But if you are a rich person and you believe you want to use something which is pure and original, please go for Healing Herbs, which is the original, which is, I think, 12 times or 13 times more expensive, but works as effectively. The dilutions work as effectively as the original. So it's up to you. And you can get in touch with me. I guide you further if you want to buy original. I have contacts who can help you buy them at a discount also. I don't deal with remedies. I give prescriptions and I guide people to buy them and mix them on their own. They're very simple to mix. And so that I like empowering my patients. I don't want to hold them close to my heart because I want them to get healed and set themselves free.
So any closing thoughts for today?
Yeah, closing thoughts for today, very simple, is in the slide, the last slide. Last but one, not the last slide, was the contact slide. Where is it gone? Okay, forget the slide. I don't want to share the slide. Make Bach flower a way of life. That's the only request, the entreaty that I have for all of you. It has stood me in good stead. Since when? At least 15 years. And I know for the rest of the life. Can anyone guess my age? Suki, guess my age.
72.
Yeah, 27. I know you're good. You're bad with scrambling numbers. It's not that low. It has kept me young and vivacious, full of energy. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go to sleep at 11, and I am full of energy. And touch wood, God forbid, nothing serious attacks me, nothing serious happens to me. Yes, my dear Geet, I do. Please get in touch with me. My number 9611 and I'll lead you to become a practitioner. That is my promise.
Great, thank you. So that was, I think we learned a lot today. We've got 2 other exciting sessions coming up. On Saturday, we've got discussion with the youth. We're going to be talking about motherhood. Lots of changes coming up in the way and the feelings even of what will be the future. And then on the 17th, we're going to talk about getting job ready, especially right after college and the few years after it. So please
getting jobs
join us.
ready. Yeah, I can help people with that.
Yeah, please do. What is the remedy to get job ready?
Yeah, job ready. The first thing is wild oat. People who are coming out of college, they're very confused. They don't know which way to go, and they have this herd mentality. They go the way their friends go. Wild oat will drive you in the direction of purpose. Gentian will make you more optimistic about clinching the opportunity that you have applied for and not feel disappointed. Larch will bring in the confidence. Crabapple will get you out of low self-worth. And along with that, have a little bit of, what should I say? That's it. Have Star of Bethlehem maybe along with that, because you might have had traumatic experience trying to get job, and it will. Star of Bethlehem is a fantastic remedy, heals all traumas. So there is another prescription, and
Well,
you can
thank you.
quote that on my behalf in that particular session.
I will. I'll tell them there's a simple solution.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to do.
Before I go, let me share with you one good news. I'll just take half a minute. Pooja is, as you can mention, is my better half. I am the worse half, and she has been struggling to get a job. And I've been trying to, encourage her. That's it, because ghar ki murgi saag barabar. There is this thing now. So I was never a therapist to her. Then one day I took it up. I said, I'll help you with Bachelor to get a job. So I started 4 months back therapy for her to get the job. Today, she got a confirmation from HSBC that she has landed a job.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. And I hope all of you try it like we have. We've shared the doctor's number, and so that you can go ahead and ask him all your questions. With that, I wish you all a very good night.
Thank you, all of you. Wonderful having you all. Let's stay connected.